Hey guys, I'm Julianne Hough, and I am so excited to be here to give you a little insight to my life, my transformation, what brought me to where I'm at today. And a lot of you may have discovered me from Dancing with the Stars, from certain movies like Footloose or Safe Haven, maybe even my music. I did country music for a little while, and most recently I have KINRGY, which is the company that I founded and am the CEO of. But before I get into that, I just want to ask you guys a question. Why are you here? Think about it for a second. Why are you here? You made a choice to be here today. And there are so many people that could have chose to do something different. But you are a leader. There is something about you that makes you want to change the world. So I just want you to just recognize that and just take a second to say, wow, I'm really proud of myself. I made a choice to come here today. So with that, I want to say thank you for being the future leaders of our next generation. So my story, why am I here? So I grew up in a very small town in Utah, and that life was great and it was already set up for me, but something inside of me knew that I had more to offer the world. And I needed to spread my wings and get out. And dance was my avenue. Dance kind of became my superpower at a very, very young age. And I didn't even know it was my superpower until just a couple of years ago. But basically, I grew up as a dancer, and I had the opportunity to go to London when I was 10 years old and become a professional dancer, competing all over the world. And I really enjoyed that process, but it was also one of the most challenging and difficult times of my life. I didn't live with my parents. I lived with dance coaches that were very, very strict. And I had a lot of trauma, abuse, and experiences in my life that really helped amplify anxiety and depression and a sense of feeling unsafe. And during those formative years, I was 10 to 15 years old. Those were some of the most formative years for us to really take on our identity, our choices, and our belief systems and our conditioning are either survival or thrive, survive or thrive. And I felt like I was living in survival. It was a good thing in one regard because it taught me how to protect myself, how to be an achiever, to win, to do the things that I needed to do to be the best. And that was my form of proving myself that I was capable. That got me really, really far. It got me to Hollywood when I was 18. It got me to Dancing with the Stars, where I won my first 2 seasons. It got me to get a record deal in Nashville, going on tour with Brad Paisley, George Strait, Blake Shelton. It got me to starring in some of my first movies with Tom Cruise, with Josh Duhamel, with Mary J. Blige, Catherine Zeta-Jones. I mean, it really got me to this place of I can do anything I set my mind to because I've protected myself and I know how to achieve. And then something happened. At 24, I woke up one day and I said, I have achieved everything that I put my mind to. Why do I feel so empty inside? And that was the moment that changed my life forever. So I talk a lot about connecting to yourself and then relating to the people around you so that you can experience the world. So I had lost my true essence, my true self along that journey because I was so afraid of not winning, not receiving love, not being able to become this idea that I had in my mind. And then when I woke up that one day and I said, wow, I feel empty inside. Why am I achieving all of these things? I realized it was because I was doing it for the wrong reason. I was doing it to gain something. And if I can tell you one thing, the secret to living is giving. I was taking. I was trying to I was trying to become the singer, become the actor, become the CEO, and take from the world. And when I realized that it was actually the opposite, my whole life changed. So one of my biggest failures in life that I thought was a big failure ended up being someone else's greatest success. And this is a story that I'm going to tell you that really rocked my world and changed my life. So at 24, I woke up, like I said, and I was feeling empty inside. And I remember one day I was kind of in a low space, and I really felt like I had given up on my music career. I was doing really well. I was on tour. I had a #1 album. I had just won Best New Female Vocalist and Best New Artist. But something inside me was like, I want to go do movies now. And I let my music career die. And I had so much shame over that. And I felt like I failed. I felt like I failed. And I remember, and I get teary-eyed every time I think about this, there was this man who was probably in his late 70s, and he ran up to me one day. And at first I was a little guarded, and he just had tears in his eyes. And he looked at me and he said, "You saved my life." And I was like, wait, what? And he said, "You saved my life. 2 years ago, I decided to change my life. And otherwise, I was going to take my life." And he basically said that he got on the treadmill every morning and he listened to my song, my Hallelujah song. And those lyrics say, "I feel like I'm right where I belong." And I get teary-eyed. And he looked at me, he said, "I lost 160 pounds, and I was finally able to tell my family that I was gay. And with that, you changed my life because I listened to your song." And so every time I think of that, I thought so much that I had failed because I was so thinking about myself in that moment, that I didn't achieve enough. I didn't actually become Taylor Swift or whatever, that was my greatest failure. And that was that man's greatest success. And that was the moment that I realized that secret to living is giving. And so when I changed my mindset of, instead of what can I get and what can I take, but what can I give, it completely changed the trajectory of what I put out into the world. So that is how I relate to others now. And from there, I realized I've spent, my 20s really kind of figuring out this self-expression in myself and becoming a celebrity and an artist and a dancer and all these things. And they've been great, and they've given me such a platform to be able to share. But that's the point. It's given me a platform so that I can share, not so that I can feel even better about myself. It's really, so it's given me an opportunity to share my experiences, but also the experiences that I keep learning. Because at the end of the day, if we're constantly becoming students and constantly wanting to learn and grow and be curious, we're gonna have a very, very exciting journey, which is called life. If we are just here and we stop learning, then we're gonna feel stuck. And that gives me an opportunity to move into this next segment, which is about KINRGY. So I started KINRGY as a young 30-year-old woman, and which in this day and age is a hard thing to do, to start a company. And I started this company out of the belief that I knew that this is something that the world needed. So like I said before, I was taking to see what I could gain from the world, and now it's my time to contribute and to give back. And so KINRGY is all about helping people connect to their body. I think I said it before, that dance became my superpower. And what I realized is that when you dance, when you move your body and you feel self-expressed, you actually change the chemistry in your body so that you can release the energy of depression and anxiety and holding stored information, because we do store information in our body whether we like it or not. And so if we don't move our body, there's three things. If we don't move our body, if we don't breathe, and we don't connect back to that childlike wonderment, that imagination that surrenders our mind, that can chatter, 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 and give us negative belief systems and thought processes, then we store all this information in our body, and we feel like our life just gets lower and lower and lower. So the idea of KINRGY is to move your body so you can transform all of those belief systems, the old conditioning that doesn't serve you anymore, and that can put you into a state of possibility. And that possibility is all about service, it's about contributing to the world, and it's also about how you feel inside too. Because the more you feel great inside and you feel liberated and free, you can also then give that to the people around you. And then when that happens, it's like a ripple effect, and then people start changing, people start growing. And that, I believe, is the most sustainable way to create change, is from the inside out. And so this company is less about a company, but it's a movement. And so my life, this is a very short speech, but my life and the experiences that I had, if I could leave you with anything, it's that where you put your focus, where your focus goes, energy flows. So if I were to focus on myself constantly and be so self-serving to try and achieve and achieve and achieve to prove myself to everyone else, it can be a very lonely road, and one that's not very fulfilling, because you're never going to be satisfied. I just got to say that, or at least I was never going to be satisfied. I was always searching for what is next, what is next, what is next. But the minute I was able to say, wow, I feel really happy inside of myself, I have gratitude, I have love, I have compassion, that is the part of me that is able to then create from that place of possibility and create change, create magic. Like, I believe that there is magic in this world that hasn't even been tapped into yet, because people have limiting beliefs. The minute we have a goal and a belief that that's as far as we can go, we've already put a limitation up for ourselves. So if you can believe that anything is possible, anything is possible. So thank you guys so much for just listening, for putting yourself in this position today to make a choice to come and put yourself and surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who believe in each other and believe in the future of and the state of the world. And so I want to just invite you and encourage you guys to come along with us. We're going to do a little KINRGY, a bite-sized version of what KINRGY is all about, where we're going to activate our imagination to come back to that childlike wonderment state before all that conditioning happened, where we feel free. And then we're going to use our breath patterns, and then we're going to move our body. So those are the three things: movement, breath, and activating that imagination. So we're going to do that, and then if you guys really like that, then you can always go to KINRGY.com and sign up and join our community, and we can be there for each other, because that's what life's about, right? Is doing it for yourself first and foremost so you feel happy, but then collectively as a community so that we can change the world together. So, you ready? Let's go.